I'm Armie Armstrong, and thank you so much for purchasing a new A-Wing XPS. We love these things. We're going to run you through how to set up your wing, how to pack it up, a few safety things, and how to look after it, so this lasts you many epic sessions. So first, take your pump off, then undo your bag. Now, what we have provided is a batten tube, okay? So your longer battens, you can travel with them in this tube just to keep them protected. You can also travel with the battens in the wing, but roll your wing carefully. We're gonna show you how to do that afterwards. So, let's get this thing out of the bag. All right, so when you're setting up, always attach your wing to something. I like to put my leash actually on when I'm pumping, that's one option. The pump itself also has a string, right? You can tie that to the leash loop, okay? But the most important thing, do not put your foil through your wing, right? So I like to get my foil, put it on the upwind side, out of the way, always have your wing downwind. You can also attach your leash to the board, right? If you want to attach your leash to your board or foil, that's okay, but make sure the foil's not going to blow into your wing when you're setting up, because that will end your session. Okay, pumping up. So, we've got our pump attached to the wing. Next thing, flick the sand out, make sure you haven't got sand in your pump. Give it a couple of pumps. Okay, open the valve caps. Now, the valves are protected with these really nice little caps. Open it up, make sure there's no sand in here. No sand, no grit. Screw it up, there's a rubber seal, right? Make sure the rubber seal is seating properly. Undo this. Now, we're gonna pump up the leading edge first. Get your pump. No sand, beauty. Here we go. Now we're pumping. So when you're pumping up, don't pump up to full pressure. Just pump up to, let's say 4 or so, and check, have a look along your leading edge really carefully, right? Make sure there's no twists. Now what can happen in shipping sometimes, the bladders can twist a little, okay? So, have a look. If you see any creases here, usually on the inside of this curve, okay? No creases, sweet. If you do get a bit of a crease, you just got to release the pressure, give it a bit of a shake. I'll show you how to do that now. Right, we've let the air pressure out, okay? We're going to come over here, just going to give it a bit of a shake. Okay, that usually is enough to fully reseat the bladder, no problem. Then we're back to pumping. Okay, check for creases. Beauty, this one looks good. It's got a pressure number here. Do not inflate past that pressure, okay? That is the maximum pressure, and in fact, if you want more juice out of your wing, you can run it at a slightly lower pressure. Gives a deeper profile to the canopy, it has more flex, so in lighter wind, I run my wings 1 psi lower. In windy, I run it higher, okay? Flattens out the profile, more rigid when it's windy, more grunt when the light wind, okay? If it's lower pressure. So I'm gonna go, this says 8, I'm gonna go to 7.5, right there, okay. Do your valve cap up properly, close your valve cover. Second, inflate the strut. Same process. Pressure in the strut, right, is massive for tuning the profile of your wing. So, if you want to flatten it off, more pressure. If you want to make the profile a bit deeper, give you a bit more bottom end, a little bit less pressure. So, I'm gonna go, I went 7.5 on the leading edge. Today's a mid, so I'd call it mid wind range. So I'm gonna go to 7.0, even though it says maximum 8, which I could go to 8 on a windy day. I'm gonna go to 7 on my strut, because I know that gives me a little more camber in my profile, a little more bottom end. Just Always make sure you do not overinflate past 8 psi. No need for these wings. The diameters are optimized for these pressures, for the airframe and the aerofoil shape, okay? Your wing will last much longer if you pump it to the specified pressure, or slightly lower in light wind if you want more grunt. Ground handling, leading edge handle, right? This is how you carry your wing around when there's some breeze, okay? You can wander around, super cool. The wing's floating, okay? This wing vaporizes when you're holding it here. You can hardly feel it, it just floats. Leading edge handle, transition to your front handle. If the wind's light and you're carrying your wing around, I prefer to use the front of my front handle because you kind of hold the wing up. It's a bit more balanced if there's no wind lifting it, okay? When carrying the wing around on the beach with your foil, the leading edge D-power or session handle. This handle, when you're ripping waves, the wing vaporizes, it just floats there, right? But when you're on the beach carrying it, make sure you always have your board on the upwind side, wing downwind side, off you go, okay? Keep the foil away from your wing. Now, any of these handles, not much power until you sheet in. Get used to your handling on the beach, okay? Make sure you know where your hands are going. Pretty basic. If you need lessons, get lessons. That's all cool. The leash, right? It's designed. You can let the wing go. You can retrieve it again. Okay, that's the whole point of the leash, so it doesn't blow away. Okay. Let it go. If you got too much power, it's going to depower. It might flip upside down. Okay. If the wing flips upside down and you're in the water, it's really easy, right? Get your outer hand, whatever hand. Say if I'm going to go on this tack, right? My outside hand's on top. My inner hand is just past the center underneath. Lift, flip. Grab the leading edge handle. Grab your power handles, up and go. Okay? Main thing, always use a leash. You can use a waist leash. We have really beautiful waist leashes as well. If you want a waist leash, they come with this wrist leash. Once you've got yourself organized out in the water, you've been sessioning, say the wind drops, you don't have enough energy, you can lie on your board, paddle back to the beach. What I like to do, right, is flip the wing over. I put my feet on the board, on the wing, and I paddle. Then you drag the wing with you, right? But basically, don't deflate your wing, okay? Your wing is inflated, easily visible. It's flotation, super useful. So if you have to self-rescue, I would leave your wing inflated until you get to the beach. Unless it's a howling offshore wind and you can't make it back. In that case, maybe there is a case to deflate your wing. But in any other case, keep your wing inflated. It's visible to people coming to rescue if you need a rescue. It's flotation. And hey, the wind might come up and then you'll be ripping back home. All right, you've come in from your session. You had a great foil. Packing up your wing, it's pretty simple. We just want to run through a few tips. Tip one, I actually don't recommend packing up on the sand, right? We're going to do it right now on the sand. You can if that's your only option. Normally I would like to go find a grassy spot, keep the sand out of my wing. But because it's much prettier, we're going to do it on the beach for you right here, and you can do it on the beach. Be careful you don't get the sand in it. So, give it a shake first. Get the excess water off it, right? Flip it upside down. Okay, now there's a bit of a trick on the beach that I like to do, which you can, if you have to pack it up on the beach and walk somewhere, I just like to deflate my leading edge, right? You can grab the whole thing if you have to walk up a path without it even touching the ground, right? So then I can walk up a narrow path or whatever, keep the strut inflated, right? We're going to put it right in the bag, but this is a little tip. Right now I can grab my foil, put it on my shoulder, okay? Okay, we go, okay? That's the easiest way if you've got to hike up a track or something. I prefer to pack my wing up on the grass, but if you're going to do it on the beach or any other surface, right? Okay, leading edge is deflated. Take your leash off. Deflate your strut. Okay, when we're packing up, we always start at the tip. Right, now, we have got these battens. Be careful when you're rolling up the batten. What you need to do is when you're rolling, get a nice tight roll. Make sure this batten is aligned with this roll, and then roll your leading edge. I like to push a bit of air, and then you can lean it up against the board or something so this side doesn't unroll when you do the second side. The leash, that can also be used to help wrap your wing up. Now, when you've got the air out, right, always put the cap in the valve cap, right, and close it so that this protects the canopy from the valve, okay? Fold it in half, it's ready for the bag. Couple of really important notes to remember. These are technical products, really finely tuned materials used in a harsh environment, okay? If you take really good care of your wing, it's gonna last a lot longer. Now, yep, we all know we're on the beach, we're in the ocean, things are gonna get thrashed, that's epic, we want you to thrash it, but take care of your equipment. Now, that means a few simple things. Don't inflate it on a rough, sharp, rocky ground if you can avoid it. Hey, if that's your only option and you got to go for a session, go do that session, but that's on you, right? These things will not survive sharp, okay? A foil hitting it, yep, that is going to go through your wing. That's reality. Packing them up wet, that's a big no-no, right? Always pack your wing last. What I like to do is I tie my wing somewhere, I get my foil packed up, I have a wash, I get dry, all of that stuff. If you're in the ocean, you don't need to wash your wing, just let it dry, but leave it out to last. First of all, I like to put it down, handles down, just let the canopy top dry. Then I'll flip it, right? If I'm in wind, you can't leave it canopy up because it'll fly. Put it on the ground, tie it to something with your leash, let it dry, okay? The other thing is if you're on the beach, like Tarifa or somewhere, and it's howling, right? Don't leave your wing set up on the beach for ages, okay? Just set it up and go. When you come back in, go straight off the beach, pack it up. If you leave this thing tied to your board for 2 hours while you're sunbathing or drinking a cerveza, the sand is going to damage the materials. These are amazingly beautiful materials, but they're lightweight, technical materials, okay? So, pack it dry. That's kind of rule one. Like, if you don't pack it dry, you can get mold, you can get, you know, you just don't want that, okay? So, you can loosely pack it, and when you get home, open it up again. Don't leave it overnight wet. Just take it out of the bag, hang it on the front handle, deflate it, okay? All of these little details will really help increase the longevity of your wing, and you guys will have session after session. One more quick one. I almost forgot. In the back of your car on a sunny day, right? Put it in the boot or throw a towel over it. You don't want greenhouse effect coming through your car, cooking this thing, okay? Boom. Take it away.